Hello. I don't seem centered, do I? Well, irregardless. I hope I spelled Belize right. It doesn't kind of look right, but I don't know. I wasn't the best speller in the world, but I think it says what I'm trying to talk about. Now, and I got a lot of them. Let's start with the Hippocratic Oath. What right does anybody, any government, have to override the Hippocratic Oath? It was obviously there for a reason, to make sure doctors do what they're supposed to do. And all these laws that are overriding the Hippocratic Oath, to the point that the medical profession is so freaking paranoid of helping those that need the help that they don't. Myself, I've been dealing with extreme pain since the summer of '83. I gave myself all kinds of reasons as to why, I didn't want to bother anybody and all that. But irregardless of my wrong thinking at the time, I should have gone to the ER. And the government had been paying me ever since if I had done that. But it shouldn't be something that you have to do necessarily. The office manager that I was working in at the time on work study in college, because I was on work study at the time when I injured myself. So I was working for the government, you might say, at the time. The lady's name is Corky Kirkpatrick, and she's very good at what she did, but she should have took charge and made sure that I went to the ER. That's what should have happened. What should have happened to begin with is they should have had a key for that elevator before we ever stacked all them heavy boxes on top of a hand truck. Now, you don't do something like that till you're ready to move it. But the end result was I didn't see a doctor for many, many years later. And then when I did, I had a doctor that he didn't come right out and say it in those exact words, but it was pretty obvious to me that he had me tagged as some, addict or whatever that was just trying to get whatever pills he could possibly get. He sent me to a specialist when his x-rays didn't show anything, according to him anyways. I've recently had x-rays that the doctor that ordered them, he says he definitely can find areas of my neck where he's pretty certain that that's where my nerves are being pinched at. But at any rate, that doctor way back then, he sent me to a specialist to get an MRI done. And the specialist told me what he found. And about the last thing he said to me was, when the doctor sees these pictures, he's going to believe everything you've been telling him. And I took him back to the doctor and told him what the specialist said. And his response was, well, I wouldn't know what I was looking at. And he turned his back on me and walked away. So it wasn't long after that. I just gave up on the doctors at that time. I've, in recent times, I've been seeing the doctors again. And my neck's been showing me some new things, basically paralyzing my hands. End result of that is I ended up with what they called de Quervain's tenosynovitis. It also has a more scientific name, radial styloid tenosynovitis. But it's the tendons that operate the thumb. Boy, talk about something painful. Ooh, boy, oh boy. No, it dang near rivaled my sciatic in other things my neck can do. So they wanted it to heal on its own. I was in a splint, my right hand, for nearly a year. They wanted it to heal on its own. Well, I finally said, hey, we need to go with the shot you're talking about, that cortisone shot. Yeah, we did get that done. I was told then that it'd be 3 to 5 months to completely heal. Well, I decided let's play it safe and let's go with that 5 months, which is almost up. Roughly somewhere in the beginning of the first week of August, I figured it'd be 5 months. Told myself I wasn't going to do anything with my hand that could possibly even trigger the return of that. And that time's coming up pretty quick, like I said. But it was just 3 days after the shot, and pain was gone. I had full use of my hand. And well, knowing me, when a doctor says it may take, well, in the past I've said, well, hey, it's working now, I'm good, Yeah, well, sometimes I would recur the problem of whatever it would be at the time. And it wasn't unusual for me to do something like that. But anyways, this time around, yeah, I ain't using. I still got about another a week, 2 weeks, something like that. And we're definitely going to wait before I do anything like swing a hammer or whatever. I did try to chop some kindling. I figured I could maybe do that, but that it wasn't going along as quick as I was hoping it would be, so I stopped. I didn't want to push it. But the point I'm trying to make here is that there should be no law that should override the Hippocratic Oath, and that's the bottom line on that one. Never, ever should have happened. We cannot put our doctors in a position where they're so afraid of the consequences of what they do that they refuse to help you when you need the help. My lady's got the same kind of problem. Now, it's a different condition, and we're talking a different drug. But one doctor, maybe it was by accident, because it was originally given to her for another reason. But it turns out it knocks down probably what is the most severe mental disorder that you could possibly have, and just knocks it to the ground. Now, her bipolar aspect, it's possible it could still trigger it to erupt. So, that's why she needs the Ativan to keep that calm down. Now, will she need that, always? I'm not sure. But in the meantime, until we are sure, that's what she needs. The Librium to knock down the schizoaffective disorder, and the Ativan to keep the bipolar calm. At least until research can come up with something better. And that's what I'm planning to do. Of course, that's going to be after the lawsuits. Or if I happen to get the help beforehand, maybe I can get started while we're waiting for the lawsuits. We're really hoping for that. But at any rate, Hippocratic Oath needs to be honored. Let's skip to some other ideas I've had pretty much all my life. It always bothered me why we don't have a right to have who we believe is the best person for the job. And you're saying, oh, yeah, we do. Well, yeah, we do to a point. But then law says, no more. They already served 2 terms. But if we still believe that this is the best person to do the job for us, And we do have that right to vote for that person. I don't care if he served 2 terms or 20 terms. If he's been doing a damn good job all that time, yeah, I'll vote for him again. You know, uh, first time he gets carried away and goes and does something stupid, hey, I'll be the first one to sign the impeachment. But until then, as long as he's doing everything in the right kind of way, you betcha I'll vote for him every single time. Till I die, maybe. Uh, hey, you see, I've always been a Republican. Uh, and I'm not totally swayed to not be a Republican, but Governor Inslee, the state of Washington, could be the first Democrat I ever vote for. He's done some things that I'm real liking of, especially what he's doing right now. It's right in line with my one of my end goals. I haven't really talked about it yet because it's got all this other crap I got to deal with to begin with. But yeah, we're in a lot of trouble with our ozone, and that's pretty obvious, I think, to everybody. Yeah, imagine say what they call a planet killer even coming near us. It went flying by right by. Oh, it missed it. Yay. Well, I got a feeling when you got a planet killer doing a near miss, it's not really missing altogether because, hey, what about all that warping of the space, maybe even time that it does as it goes by? I can see this Earth just doing one hell of a wobble, huh? What do you think? That wave of pressure, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it didn't hit us, but hey, what's that going to do? And I think the scientists could probably tell you, and I'm probably not too far off the mark, that wobble from near miss can probably do one hell of a lot of damage. And it wouldn't be surprising if there's one our near future. Maybe it's coming from behind the sun, where none of the telescopes can actually see it coming. Maybe it's going to take an eclipse at the right moment that maybe we can get a look at it. So I would say when those eclipses of the sun happen, let's frame. Let's what's the word I'm looking for? Direct the telescopes, Hubble and whatnot. And I think there's another one, I forget its name. It was pretty good. Direct them in that area when these eclipses happen and see if something doesn't pop out. Yeah, I'm just kind of throwing stuff into the wind here right now, but who knows? Who knows? And maybe we'll get a little warning, but maybe that won't happen at all. Who knows? I'm just, like I said, just kind of giving a scenario of what could be. May not be, but it could be. Who knows? Just, that's, I kind of hit on this one before, but blind justice. Never ever supposed to be blind. Oh, maybe you keep one eye closed, but lift that up and put a sword in her hand because keeping one eye open. That's what we really need to do. You can't have justice just blind. Stop to think, really? Can you actually deliver justice blindly? No. See, the word of the law was never meant to be taken by the letter of the law. It was always meant to be tempered with justice. And I can guarantee you that was in the minds of the forefathers, but they made an assumption and they didn't put that in there. They assumed people would just do that. And it would follow suit because that's the way they were then. I don't think you can find anything back at that time of history. I've never been told of it, anyways, where anything was all by the letter of the law. The closest thing you're going to get would be the Salem witch hunts. And boy, hadn't that come full circle, because that's exactly what has happened to me and my lady. It is modern day witch hunting. I've already covered that. So let's see, what else? What other beliefs do we have? You know, and what there? Oh, I'm real new at this stuff. I really don't even know what I'm doing half the time here. Which button to push when I want to do a certain thing or whatever. I wish I had somebody knew what they were doing and I can do this right. I see these things to edit, but God, I'm not sure I can do that properly. I might end up erasing what I don't want erased, so I don't touch it. I just leave things the way they are. Sorry about that if some is just, nothing to listen to or whatever. I, I just discovered a video that, and I've been in here many, many times. Why all of a sudden today it shows up? It was the first one I did where I titled it "The True Reality." I can't remember what's going through my mind at the time, but I think I was still trying to figure out if I was even live or whatever at the time. That's my best guess right now. But you can probably see it. There ain't nothing of real substance on it. It's just me trying to, I guess, figure it out. But at any rate, I'm expecting a fire marshal. I think I mentioned just earlier, but got interrupted, that fireman was here last Friday. I showed him what's going on in our bathroom. And he said that's something they can do something about. Okay. Well, I would think they would act promptly about it. Now here it is. What time is it? It's 11:21. I haven't seen a fire marshal yet. So I don't know. Am I just believing that they're going to do the right thing and be here? Is it going to take longer? What's it going to be 3 days later before they finally show up? I really don't know. Oh, excuse me. But in my mind, it seems like something they'd want to jump on right away. I still got some time left in this day. Maybe they'll show up yet. A little surprised they ain't here first thing in the morning. It seems like, in my mind, something of this nature they'd want to jump on right away. But I said it's almost noon, so maybe they're going to have lunch first, huh? What do you think about that? Can't deny them lunch, I guess, but it still kind of makes me wonder why they're still not here yet. What else? See, this is that problem, my memory problem. I know I got a ton of stuff in there, but there's times where trying to pull it out, it gets pretty difficult. I don't know. Back when I fell out of that upper bunk, yeah, I didn't go to mommy the next morning and say I fell, so she doesn't know about it, still doesn't know about it. But I don't know. What do you do? Do you tell your self to take a look at your child every single morning, checking for injuries? Who does that? Really? I mean, it's just you assume you put them to bed and wake up the next day and they wake up and they seem fine. Why are you going to check? And I ain't saying that this is something you should do, but I don't know if I did anything odd or different that day. I don't think I did. But if you see something different in your child, the next morning or something, and maybe they were in a position where something could have happened, maybe take a look. Can't hurt. Maybe nothing wrong. But my injury got missed. Could your child's injury get missed? It's possible. I'm living proof of it. But I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that. I'm just expressing the possibilities of what might happen that you don't know. And again, oh, yeah, here's another thing. Let's get back to the doctors. You ever try to get a doctor to do a home visit? It's like totally unheard of anymore. You got to be in such a bad situation and have the money. Again, here we go with the money to hire the people to come. My lady likes that Me TV channel. Yeah, I like it too. I really do. It's got a lot of good shows on it. What brings to mind in this conversation is Gunsmoke. Old Doc. Boy, he sure made home visits. Didn't have a problem, whether he got paid in the chicken or its eggs or whatever it might be. He always obeyed his Hippocratic oath. I think you know what I'm talking about. That's the kind of mindset that needs to remain in the medical profession. Home visits. My lady, one big aspect, it's a big problem. It's getting her to her appointments. Many, many, many times. She's just not in a state of mind to go. And we've missed a lot of appointments. So she, in her situation, really needs someone to come to her. If that happened every single time, boy, I guarantee you she'd be in a lot better shape right now. A lot better. So you see, here again, there's another aspect of the medical profession that's just disappeared. Absolutely disappeared. Try yourself to get a doctor to come to the home. I doubt you're going to make it happen. At least not the way things are right now. Another thing that has to be changed. So, but when I talk about these changes, it makes me wonder, get back to that, whoever we feel is right should have the job bit. Eleanor Roosevelt, why did he change that? Because we had it before. Hell, he served 4 terms, right? Why did he change that? Did he see a problem? Of course, as president, the president's supposed to know all the secrets, right? And maybe he knew a secret that forced him to make that change. Maybe he felt it was in the best interest of all of us to make that change. I don't know. I really don't know. But, before we do have to make change, we really need to look at it very, very carefully. I believe that we do have the right, and we should have the right, regardless of how many terms a person has served. But at the same time, is there some secret that made Mr. Roosevelt do that? Especially someone that already served 4 terms and would have been voted in again, I'm certain of that. So it does make me wonder, why did he make that change? I really don't know. I don't even know if that answer is even in the history books. And again, it's just speculation. There's always a reason for everything, they say, right? Well, what was that reason? I haven't ever heard of a reason that would, make you want to do something like that. So was it a secret? Makes me wonder what he was really thinking. It really does. Why would he do that? So, maybe we have to look at that and try and delve through the records. Maybe there's something on paper somewhere that would give us a direction to look, a lead, you might say. I don't know. I really don't. But, it's certainly something to think about. Boy, I'm still trying to pull some of these other ideas I got in my mind right now. I got so much going on, just so much. It's hard to just reach into that pile of stuff that's in my brain right now and pull out specifics. It's like, probably when I end this, maybe within 30 seconds, I go, oh, I forgot that. Yeah. Oh, I do that all the time, tell you the truth. I really do. I'll end a conversation, go away. I think I've hit on this before, but yeah, you wished you'd said this. You wished you'd said that. How many of you have done that, huh? Yeah, today I called up some of the news stations again. Again, Channel 5, that news tip line. That guy, unbelievable. Just unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. And the other news tip line, it's kind of like, if it's too unbelievable, they're going to ignore you. That's the way I'm feeling. Nobody's here yet. I got the biggest case the world's ever freaking seen in a long, long time. No one's here. When you got the entire criminal justice system by the short hairs, you would think the news would be on top of that. Just uncovering every freaking thing they could find, turning over every stone, and all that. But not here. Not here right now. As far as my situation, or me and my lady's situation concerned, I look at it as they're still taking advantage of a severely mentally disabled lady. And she's truly the sweetest person in the world. She really is. It's just a mental disorder that keeps your mind in a place that's not good. It's just not good. And I know I don't want to say cure, but boy, that Librium sure knocks it dead. Just knocks it out of the park. And the one doctor does say on paper that she needs to be on it. And I can't get anybody to listen since then. He works in the ER, so I guess it's just by chance we stumbled across him, and it'll be just by chance if we ever get his help again. But boy, he sure need it. Sure need it. And let's talk about the police forces. Boy, I don't care if they're state, county, city, they need to be all on the same page. City cops, you tell them, hey, it's state law, but they don't care. They only care about city law. That's all they care about. They've proven that to me. I even tried to call the county, they got a special department for civil law. I guess blew me off. Just totally blew me off. He said, well, no one else agrees. I said, well, yeah, there are other people here that believe like I'm believing as far as this situation is concerned, at the Greenview Apartments. But he didn't listen. He just kept right on and on, oh, you need to look inside yourself. If nobody else is agreeing with it, you need to look inside yourself. Hey, I do got people agreeing with me. I can introduce you to him. But he just didn't listen, just kept on talking. Kind of like, when I'm talking to the news people, I'm trying to tell them, but they keep interrupting, How are they going to know if they keep interrupting? Well, I've been giving him my YouTube channel. And that Channel 5 guy. Oh, nobody's going to type all that in. Hey, I ain't the one that made it. YouTube made it. You know, if you got a YouTube channel, that's what you got. You got a big old line of letters and numbers, capitalized, small letters, you know. And yet this Channel 5 guy that answers the news tip line. Oh, no one's going to type all that in. Hey, it's the only way I have found that you can get straight to my videos, only me and all of me. And I don't know. Suddenly my mind goes back to that video I found today. Why haven't I even seen it before today? I mean, God, this one goes back some time, about a month or more. And yet, all of a sudden, this is the first day I've actually seen it. I thought it was one of those times I wasn't successful in getting on. And yet there I was, you know, wasn't saying anything. I was just, you know, the lighting was bad. You'll see that, you know, and all that. Trust me. Well, if I'm not talking to you, go ahead and end that one because there's nothing there of real substance, you know. So just you know, stop that one and go to the next one. You want to see the one. Now I know one's like 48 minutes long, but boy, I got a lot in there. I don't talk about everything I've been talking about here now, but I do touch on the Greenview Apartments. But that 48-minute one, that's more on the criminal justice system right there. That's my this Greenview Apartments. This is just a preliminary for me. This is just a little warm up. I can prove everything here. I can prove everything in the criminal justice system. Most of it's on paper, but with criminal justice system, all my proofs, all public record. It's there. You just got to know what you're looking at. Despite the fact that all that poison might look real, it's not. Ain't a bit of it real. Yeah, I even spotted something that I don't even know what the hell it is. It doesn't have to do with the case that I'm talking about, but well, I don't remember going to court on anything like that. Yeah, I forget what it says exactly, but it's just something that's sitting there that don't fit with everything else. If you were to look at my record, you'll know right away what I'm talking about. And it's just awfully strange. Maybe it's just one of those things my memory doesn't let me remember for whatever reason, you know, from that injury. But I just can't remember ever being in front of a judge about it. Why is it in my criminal record? I don't get it. Maybe my mind's blanked that part out. I don't know. It seems to me I'd have some inkling of it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something somebody stuck in there just to, oh, let's add this too. I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming too much there. But like I said, I just can't remember anything about that one. Don't know what it is. Yeah. Does it seem like I'm bouncing around a little bit? Yeah. When you got let's call it a memory injury like mine. That's the way it can be sometimes. I know the first video I made, boy, I got through quite a ways without any the memory effects, let's say, popping in there. So I did pretty good. I concentrated really hard. I remember at the time to keep my train of thought, which is, I guess, really where it shows itself generally is keeping that train of thought, you know. Being careful if I steer off to make a point to get back on track. And that's where I usually lose it. You know, if I go steering off to make a point about something I'm saying, trying to get back to where I was, boy, I got a lot of trouble with that one. That's where it usually stands out the most. But I did real good on that. The first one I knew I was making, anyways, I knew I'd finally It took me a couple of days just to figure it out. But yeah, once I knew I was on there, and I wasn't even ready. Well, I didn't even say that, I think, at the time. But God, I could go on and on and on. So much. So much. There's one I hit on before. I just popped in my head. Why are we not doing a bigger effort to solve our future problem of the world ending? And I don't know there's any way to stop that, but we certainly should be trying to figure out the best we can as fast as we can on what it's going to take to reach these other stars, where other possible livable Earths are, if you want to call them all Earths in that fashion. You realize what I'm talking about, I'm sure. But I can remember times where they were putting it to a vote. Do we give NASA this much money or this research this much money and blah, blah, blah. Why are we even thinking about it? Just do it. All the scientists tell you sooner or later the world's going to end one way or another. Maybe it's going to happen a lot sooner than you realize. We shouldn't be wasting time. We need to get on that right away. There's no telling when. They give us all kinds of scenarios of how it can happen. Obviously, at some point that sun's going to die, and we're going to die with it. So that's probably the one that gives us the most time, if that's the scenario that's going to occur. But what if it's one of the others? It's going to cut that time short. We don't know, do we? So we need to be getting the ball rolling a lot better and faster on that one. I can't see anybody disagreeing with that. I really can't. If somebody disagrees with that, you got to ask them, why? Why would you disagree with that? Give them the dang money. And I still see a world where money's going to lose that hold on you. You ain't going to have to worry about it no more. Not to that degree, anyways. I do see kindness becoming the main commodity. It's really pretty simple to see. Oh, here then popped in my head. I remember when I was a kid hearing on the news about farmers being paid not to farm. Now, I didn't really, understand that exactly. Being a kid, you don't understand the whys and wherefores of strange things like that. But here's what I'd say. If there's really a valid reason to pay them not to grow, well, go ahead and give them the money, but don't stop them from growing. Let them grow, and they can give that stuff away to the food banks, or ship it over to another country that's starving. Now, there's a lot of people say, hey, help the ones here first. Yeah, well, okay, well, that'd be simple enough. They can certainly help their town they live in, or live nearby, whichever the case. Help their area. But I got a feeling some of these farmers got enough land that they got more than enough to cover their area. They can spread it out a lot farther than that. So I don't see much trouble in sending some of that to these other countries. And getting to that now, see, things are starting to pop again. I have never, ever felt any kind of reason I wouldn't allow anybody to come to this country and live. On the basis that they're trying to improve their lives. They're being tormented, or there's just no food there, or whatever the reason. If they want to come here to live, hey, that's how we got here, right? I got no problem with them coming. What I do have a problem with It's people coming here and becoming American citizens and just ignoring our laws. Now, I know we got a lot of laws that need to change. I understand that. But you can't come here and just flat ignore them. You know, my last manager, boy, the last job I had, he became American citizen and he just flat ignores our laws, just ignores them. Now, I don't know the full extent of what he ignores, but I know when it comes to working under him, boy, I could give him several months advance notice and he'll keep telling me, oh, we'll see, we'll see. Come the day before I'm supposed to start my vacation, no, you can't take your vacation. Every single time. Every single time. I never got a vacation from him directly. No matter how much time I gave him notice. Didn't matter. Never gave me a vacation. And then when the district manager at the time, anyways, found out, and this lady didn't like me for some reason. I wasn't sure. Maybe, I had ugly teeth at the time and everything, but hey, I did my job good. I really did. But because of the fact that he would only hire people that had three things, showing three fingers. There we go, 3 fingers. They had to be a male Egyptian friend. Had to be all 3 of those. That's all he would hire. And then he wouldn't make them do the job. Oh, they were his friends. He didn't want to, treat them like a manager is supposed to treat them when they're doing wrong. He just, we'd have meetings, right? How can you have a meeting when everyone else is talking another language? Because they wouldn't talk English. They talked in their, I forget, I think it began with an F, whatever it is they talk in Egypt. And so I never knew exactly what they were saying, obviously. And it would never get explained either. So I'm sitting there in a meeting, and I got no idea what they're saying. I know they're arguing. Why are these employees arguing with the manager? They're supposed to follow the manager's orders. And actually, we were supposed to follow the orders of Jackson's Food Stores. They wanted things run a certain way. Okay, I was agreeable to all that, and I sure did my best to do that. But, when you have to come to work every day and you got to spend most of your time correcting what wrongs were done, like Jackson's Food Store. If you had a display, set up a certain way, well, the only time you ever jump into that display for product to restock with is when you're out of it everywhere else. But, these guys, they did, I guess, lazy, I don't know, but they wouldn't go to the stock that was there to restock with. They'd tear into that damn display every single day. And every single day I'm in there fixing their freaking display. I kept running out of time for the things I was supposed to do. And actually, I'd stay pat. I'd be clocked out, and I'm still in there trying to finish what needs to be done. Because I had to spend my time fixing the freaking mistakes that kept being made every single day. The same mistake. This one guy I kept telling him, man, leave the display alone. Jackson Food Stores wants that way. The only time you go into it is when you're out. And there'd be plenty of product in the cooler to stock with. Plenty. And they wouldn't touch it. They'd tear that display down every single time. And that's just one example. But the manager, he refused to make them do it. And so this new district manager, she believes I was the one that's wrong. Oh, I don't want to work with a team. Well, Nobody here is working as a team. I'm the only one trying to do it the way the company wants it done. But this lady, she called me a liar 4 times, and each time I could prove I was telling the truth, but I'd barely get the statement out of my mouth. She goes, "You're a liar." She didn't even check it out. Didn't even check it out. Just immediately called me a liar. And each time I could prove I was telling the truth. Heck, even Joseph Hanna was the manager's name. On one of those occasions that writing me up for some crap, and I had a right to make my statement about the matter. Now, the paperwork didn't have a spot where it specifically said, "This is where you're right to do that." That wasn't there. So I was just going to write it in there. I was busy at the time. I had it sitting on the side, and it was, I believe it was actually a Saturday this occurred, if I recall right. He shows up. The manager shows up. No real reason to be there, but he knew about that write-up I had, and he come in to get it. I said, "Hey, I haven't written my thing on there yet." He kind of took a quick glance at it. There was no place to write it. He takes off with it. So I never got to put my say on it. And when district manager, was talking about that, I said, "Hey, I was going to write on it, and he took it away and wouldn't let me write on it." He said, "You're a liar." Well, heck, I went back later and I said, "Hey, Joe, do you remember that?" He said, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that." So he would have told the truth. Luckily, he's do that. But she didn't even bother to check. Never checked. Another time was Jack's Food Store said when it comes to uh, not selling to minors and that sort of thing, even if the person was of age, but we just weren't sure about it, they said, "We got your back. We got your back." Yeah, well, they didn't. Because this one gal, young looking gal, and her license, the picture was blurry. When's the last time you saw a blurry picture on your license? No, I don't recall ever getting a blurry picture when I go get my license renewed. Hers was kind of blurry. And one of the things they told us in a meeting, sometimes they'd have you come to these meetings and they tell you how to do things and whatnot, especially since they just bought us from the other company that owned us. And at one of these, they had said that, look for the features. His nose looked the same, mouth looked the same, eyes looked the same, Well, I'm dealing with a blurry picture, so I had to spend a little extra time trying to figure that out. And that was all used against me. Because I was doing wrong. I was doing bad. And this little girl, boy, she started yelling, screaming, what customers watching. What do you do? I wasn't yelling and screaming back. I just kept telling her, "I'm sorry, I can't do this." And this district manager, again, she had replaced a former district manager. She just said, "Well, you should have said this, should have said that, whatever." And when I told her, well, I was trying to find the features when she's asking why I'm staring at it so long and whatnot. She goes, and I told her it was just like I was told in the class. And "You're a liar. I was at that meeting." Hey, yeah, I think I recall her being at one of the classes I was at, but I don't believe she was at the one where they talked about looking for the features. I'm pretty sure she wasn't at that one. I don't recall her being there. But she called me a liar anyway. It easily checked out. They could have called the company, but she preferred to call me a liar before she even checked it out. And this occurred 4 times. She called me a liar over things that were very easy to have checked out. But She called me a liar as soon as I said it. She didn't check nothing. Wasn't going to check anything. And Joseph, he other things he did was besides denying me vacation time. I was getting this. See, I sheared off something. I was going back to that when the district manager found out about the vacation problem. Well, she kind of got on him about it. Yeah, rightfully so. And then she said I had to take my vacation the following week. Wait a minute. I'm the one supposed to decide when I want a vacation. And granted, if I don't give enough notice, I can understand why maybe I don't get it when I want it there in that scenario. But if I'm given a lot of notice, I got a right to that vacation, especially, hey, don't you set up plans for your vacation? I kind of had plans, maybe they weren't big plans, but they're plans all the same. And there she was demanding that I take my vacation the following week. I didn't say anything. I just took it. It'd be the first vacation I've had in years. So I went ahead and took it. Didn't have no plans. It was just, days off, kind of a waste of a vacation in a way. But at any rate, some of the other things they did was I called in sick one day. Well, granted, it was only half hour before I was going to take off to go to work. But you never know when you got a bad back. God, it's just a itty bitty tiny little piece of paper. It's so small, I was worried that it would even float over the top. So I bent over just a little bit. Didn't mean bend way over, just a little bit to make sure that little piece went into the garbage. And I felt that something in my lower back. It just felt like a little worm squirreling around in there, And I knew. Sure enough, when I tried to straighten up, whoa, there it went. I could barely freaking move. But I called in sick, and all he could do was keep threatening me with my job. It's your job. You got to be here. I said, hey, I can't move. And he just kept on threatening. And I've worked with it before like that. Usually I was already at work when it would trigger. And I just keep on working. Oh man, the pain would be just, And as it was that day, I could barely get in and out of my car. And I got there, and I said, you see how I can barely move? He didn't care. He had plans. He had other plans. Hey, when you're a manager, part of being a manager is filling in when you have to fill in. But he wasn't going to do that. So I worked that day. I remember one time, God, the pain was so bad. I mean, the guy standing in front of me, said, your back? I couldn't even open my mouth to talk. I damn near went to the floor at one point. I let myself down kind of real slow, hoping, God, maybe I can find a point where I can get it to ease up or something. And so right in front of this, I couldn't even help the customer at the time. Right in front of him, he's standing there waiting to be helped, and I'm kind of going down. Where's my hand? Let's start up here. Slowly kind of went down. I got to that point. God, if I went any more, I was going to just drop to the floor. I held it. I fought it. And climb back up, Finish helping the customers. I think I spent a lot of time trying to sit down during that shift. I forget it, probably on camera anyways. They were big on camera and God, see, I'm slipping on a word right now. Your voice, recording your voice. Anyways, I ended up calling in sick one other time. My lady came up missing. I actually called in a report on her being missing. All kinds of bad scenarios going through. And see, there's another thing. I had to learn to think in worst case scenarios first in everything we did. You know, um, in dealing with her disorder, it was safest that way. I'd always been one to think the good thoughts first, the best case scenarios. Had changed that. Had changed that. Worst case scenarios are always what I had to think of first. And boy, she come up missing. Oh, the bad things going on in my head that could have been. Thank God. One of the scenarios, thank God that one happened. I realized that she came up missing near, not too far from where a bus stop is. And boy, thank God she got on that bus. Yeah, no way paying, but she got on the bus. And the bus ended her taking her just across county line to Aurora bus station. And I guess some people were trying to help her, and she was kind of swiping back. And, if you approach her and that kind of thing, she's going to be on the defensive right immediately. And so, police are called. And luckily, the officer that showed up, he, thank God, recognized it. Because it seems like every time the cops would come into play, boy, it'd be jail. Worst thing for it was jail. Absolutely worst. But thank God, this was an officer that saw what needed to be done in the right way, and he got her to the hospital. I'm sorry, I forget his name, but boy, thank God he did the right thing. Too bad there ain't more of them like that. Just on that vein, there was an officer when I had to do some time over in Wenatchee. Oh, they just serve the people over there garbage. It's just freaking garbage. They ain't getting served food. They're being served garbage. But anyways, there's this one officer. I was in the trustees. And, well, let's say I did something I wasn't supposed to do. Yeah. And at the time I thought, if I clean it up, maybe I can get a candy bar, That'd be someone interested in it, I thought, and I had to get a candy bar with it. But it was impossible to clean. It really was. And, well, he kind of came across it. And no, I denied it first. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that's what they all say, right? Yeah, well, in this case, they're right. Yeah, I did say no. That was a lie. But God, I was so embarrassed. He kind of got up in front of everybody and kind of made a speech about how wrong it was to do what they did to me, to hide them. I was feeling so bad. Yeah, just, oh, man. But, what am I going to do? Stand up in front of everybody right then and there when you meet? Oh, man, oh, gosh. Please stop. It's all going through my head. Oh, come on. And I don't remember the same day or next day, but anyways, he said, come here. He took me outside and said, hey, I've been hearing from some others that blah, 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 right? Yeah, I said, yeah, it was. There's a lot of things he could have done. He could have made my life a whole lot more miserable, But I think he actually believed me. And I told him the truth. I was just trying, came across it and thought I could clean it up and maybe someone would want it for a candy bar, anyways, I firmly to this day believe that officer, like if I was getting released and I came out the door and that officer happened to be there, we had a conversation, one thing led to another, and he said, hey, why don't you come home? We're having a barbecue tonight. Why don't you come and get a good meal? It wouldn't surprise me he'd do that. That's the kind of person that he seemed to me to be. Now, I don't want to put him on the spot, and Makins aren't wanting to do that just to prove me right or something. I don't know. He doesn't have to do that. And maybe it's safer not to do that. You never know sometimes who's getting released, I guess. But he's got that kind of heart. And from everything I've seen, he's the exact kind of type that we really need in the law enforcement business. I know they got a psychological test that they give so they can get what they believe is the right person. They're failing with that, failing by far, because there's not many out there that think like this. The kinds I'm talking about, you've seen examples of in the news. That officer that goes out of his way and he, rather than write a ticket, he goes and buys that child seat. I'm sure you've seen that example more than once. I have. Yeah. Now he doesn't have to do that. I realize that, but maybe law enforcement should have it in their budget so that officers have that option. They don't have to pull it out of their own pocket. There's a budget in the system for that. Where they can buy them that child seat. I'm sure you can come up with other scenarios that they can do something like that for. I think you understand what I'm talking about. They need to change. They need to get a test that's going to find the kind of people I'm talking about, like that man out there in Wenatchee. He was, jail guard, but he also patrolled as well. So he's kind of like had two jobs, you might say. I believe he's county. Yeah, I wish I could remember his name. I really do. But he really had a good heart. He really did, and that's what we need. We need people with the right kind of hearts, right kind of mindset. Not what their psychological test is coming up with, because there's too many, and way too many, that just don't give a damn. They just literal, or they ignore the law. If someone tells you, hey, it's a civil matter, well, it's certainly a civil matter for the other side as well, then. So why was a Mountlake Terrace police officer aiding and abetting in the theft of my property when I told him they had no legal grounds to do so? And he's telling me, produce a lawyer right now. Hell, if you even had a lawyer, the stuff be gone by the time you got there. And when I called next day for what I didn't get that day, the sergeant they said they were going to send, which never showed up. Well, he showed up next day. He's telling me, oh, it's a civil matter. Guess who his backup was? The moron from the day before. Yeah, he is. I don't care what they say, he is. Oh, he's my backup. Yeah, well, he's the moron that freaking helped steal my stuff. I don't care if he is wearing a badge. He still stole. I better end it here. I can hear my lady behind me. Oh my gosh, is that right? Over an hour? Hour and 3 minutes, 15, about an hour and 4 minutes. Wow. See how I can get. I can go on and on. I got a lot of this stuff too. All right. Have a good day, and keep in mind, nobody's here to help yet. I got the word out. They got my YouTube channel. Apparently, they're not looking at it. Anyways, have a better day. Trying to tell me something about Eugene. What? He's been seen with a push-up.